and then we'll be good to go. All right, and here we are. What's going on, y'all? It is Jay Stokes of the AVIOT podcast here with AVIOT Sunday Brew. I know it's late on the East Coast. Right now I'm on CST because I'm traveling. So I just want to do an episode, get it out the way, hopefully have a good conversation. I will say, I'm traveling, I am out of the country right now, but as I'm looking at news reports in America, a lot of crazy stuff is happening. So I saw today, and I took some notes on this, there's been a 40-year-old white man that used a firearm to shoot at people at a bar called the American Fish Company in Southport, North Carolina. That is one of the two shootings that happened recently. And I'm looking like, man, I made a great choice to be out of the country right now because everything is really hectic. All right. So 3 people were reportedly, they lost their lives and 5 people were injured. The crazy part about this is that this person, this 40-year-old white man who was shooting at people, he did it from a boat. He did it from a boat and actually shot at the bar. So law enforcement says that this attack was targeted and that the suspect, who was caught, identifies as a combat veteran. So reportedly, he also suffers from PTSD. That's a story for another day. The suspect reportedly frequently hung out at the pier where the bar was located and filed lawsuits against the town police department over the last few years. So that's what reports are saying. But this just adds to the growing list of victims of firearm violence in the US. And the main thing with this is, this firearm, it's always an assault rifle or it's always a high profile rifle that's being used. A firearm that should not be in the possession of just regular people. I understand this is a veteran, but even those veterans that are coming back, especially suffering from PTSD, they shouldn't be having these firearms because there is a risk that they will use it or they may be triggered and then people are going to get injured in the process, or people are going to get harmed or lose their lives in the process. This is really ridiculous. So we have that went on. We had another firearm incident that went on as well. This man, another 40-year-old white male, drove his vehicle through the front doors of a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints building in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan. So we have these 2 incidents that are happening in 2 separate areas of the United States. Now, this man exited the vehicle and began firing rounds at people using an assault rifle, and at least 5 people have lost their lives and 8 are injured. What I saw in this, salam alaikum, yes, wa alaikum salam. So what I saw is that what I saw when I was reading about it was that you had some parishioners were shielding children from being hurt in this incident that happened. I definitely respect them for their bravery. And the person who attacked this church over in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan, he lost his life in a shootout. And there's a fire that broke out at the church. And reportedly, this fire is because of the shooter as well. Yeah, I know, this is sad. This is sad that we had 2 separate incidents of gun violence in the US. Now, we have gun violence that happens all the time, but in this situation right here, you had 2 separate incidents, one in North Carolina, the other in Michigan, and they're mass shootings. So why is this happening? And I say time and time again, it is because these gun laws, these firearm laws, hey, how you doing? These firearm laws, they are too lax. We have to do a better job in the United States at making sure that people, hey, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. But we have to do a better job of making sure that individuals do not have, the wrong individuals do not have access to firearms in the United States. It's really ridiculous because more of these situations are happening over and over and over again. It's horrible. And then you have people like the founder of Turning Point USA, who lost his life saying that, hey, in order to protect our Second Amendment, some people are just going to have to lose their lives. And then you see, ironically, he ends up losing his life, right? It's the thing is with the Second Amendment, right, in the United States, it's okay to have a firearm. However, having these assault rifles and not doing proper background checks, not making sure that you vet people who are getting firearms, that is an issue. We have to make sure that people are being properly vetted. We got to make sure that I can't just walk into a store and just get a firearm without anyone doing a background check on me. I agree. I really feel for those who lost their lives due to these these mass shootings that have happened in the United States recently. Anyone who's losing their lives to firearms, it's not appropriate. I really don't like it at all. So I was speaking about the founder of Turning Point USA. Speaking of him, there at Tennessee State University, which is an HBCU, we saw that there were some people that were inspired by the founder of Current Point. Pinkman, what are you talking about? I don't understand what you mean. Don't make me laugh. You're saying you can't. What do you mean by you can't? I'm trying to figure out what do you mean by that? Can you please elaborate on your comments a bit more? I'm willing to have a conversation. Okay, we have a troll. What is a bear with no teeth? I don't know what that is. Yeah, just so you know, if you're putting inappropriate comments, I can't see it because I have a safeguard in place that makes sure that any inappropriate comments, I can't see them. A bear with no teeth is gummy bear. Okay. At least, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't like when people lose their lives inappropriately, okay? So, or lose their lives prematurely, I should say. So I think it's not just they're in a better place or may they rest in peace. We have to put safeguards into place so that innocent people aren't losing their lives due to firearm deaths. But what I was saying before, the founder of Turning Point USA, I believe there's some individuals that were inspired by him and they went to Tennessee State University, TCU, which is a HBCU, historically black university. And they wanted to have a debate with black students that were there. Make you a moderator? Okay, I'll make you a moderator. How do I make you how can I make you a moderator? I'm trying to see. You already a moderator? Oh, okay. All right. I think yeah, you're already a moderator. All right, so anyways, what I was saying before, sorry, trying to make somebody a moderator on here. So with the founder of Turning Point USA losing his life, I believe that he inspired other individuals to try and debate people as well. So we had a situation where at Tennessee State University, which is an HBCU, we had some white individuals that went to the university and they had some signs that were not appropriate. And it was like they were antagonizing the students there and they wanted to come and debate. And the thing is, they were let onto the campus, but they were there. They should not have been there. And the signs that they had up was really disrespectful towards the people there. I believe it was signs that was speaking on immigration. And how do I know this? How do I know what? Do you mass debate? I don't know what you're talking about, mass debate. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. When you're providing when you're having comments, I need to have a better understanding of what you mean in terms of when you're asking questions. I need a better understanding of what you mean. So if you can just elaborate on your questions or comments, that would be easier. But anyway, so these white guys, they came to TCU and they had inappropriate signs they were talking about. First, they had MAGA caps on, so already that's antagonizing the students there. And then they also had signs talking about immigration, and it wasn't appropriate. So I'm gonna just let you know, as a black individual, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were trying to debate them. Yeah, but exactly. So basically, as a black individual, when a white person is wearing a MAGA hat, I'm gonna let you know right now, that is not something that I like. It is, I kind of relate that to people who are wearing like white hoods, like KKK members, like Ku Klux Klan members. That's how a lot of us view the MAGA hat right now, because a lot of people that wear that MAGA hat or wear MAGA clothing, they often say bigoted statements. They often are against black people and against the advancement of black people in a positive way. So when you're wearing that hat, that is triggering. So you go to a HBCU. Yes, exactly. MAGA is the modern day KKK. So you come to an HBCU and you're wearing this hat, and then you have signs that are talking about immigration, and then you're just saying you want to debate the students there. Already the students are feeling a type of way because you're wearing an outfit and you have these signs that are triggering, and it really makes the students feel a type of way. So these two white men with the MAGA hats, they were escorted off campus, and the black students, and they're trying to vlog the black students like saying, get out of here, get out of here. And these black students had every right to say, get off of our campus, because you're wearing a hat and you have signs that are antagonizing, that are triggering for them. So I'm really happy that they got out the way. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because I'm comparing it to the two shootings that happened recently in North Carolina and in Michigan by these 40-year-old white men. We have a problem in America, a problem in which we have white men that are going around just being able to act any type of way, being able to commit all kinds of behaviors that are harassing people, that are harming people. And I'm gonna say it like it is. White parents, you have to do a better job at raising your children. We hear all the time that black parents are doing a good job raising their kids, and you have the black kids that are into drugs and into firearms and that are skipping school and that are thugs and all that. But we really have to have a holistic approach to parenting, in which every parent of any demographic has to take an active role in teaching their kids right from wrong, and also preventing their children from getting firearms, and teaching their children how to care for everybody else in the United States, not just one demographic or one group of people. So we have to do a better job of having white parents raise their children correctly in order to respect others and in order to not harm people. We really need that. That's very appropriate. I mean that is necessary. That is very necessary. Okay. So I really implore all white parents out there, do a better job at teaching your kids how to respect people from other backgrounds. If they look different from them, if they pray different from them, if they are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, they shouldn't be discriminated against. And just because you're angry doesn't mean you need to go out there and take your anger out on other people by using firearms. Okay, as a veteran, as a white male, I'm ready to defend the Constitution and the American people. No matter the color, creed, or religion, I will not let this administration take away our rights. That's great. Hi, Brenton, how you doing? John Stevens, that is actually a great attitude to have. We have to make sure, right. So I will say, with this current presidential administration, they are really sidestepping the Constitution, and they're going against a lot of laws and everything that are happening, that have been established in the United States. Yeah, so it's important. Now, we know the founding of America wasn't great, and it was horrible, like what, America is built off genocide, slavery, what have you. At the same time, we have laws that are in place now with the country that is currently established, and we have to make sure that these laws and rules are being followed. This current administration is not doing that. This current administration has spat in the face of the federal government employees that have been doing what they can to make sure that the country is running properly. We also need to figure out who in the federal government is truly following the rules in terms of hiring processes, in terms of the Epstein files, right? We gotta make sure that people who are in the federal government right now, including the president, have not, well, we know the president has his checkered past and checkered present, but those who have harmed or abused people in the past, we have to hold them accountable and make sure that they're brought to justice. Speaking of the Epstein files, I wanted to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, she recently put out some messages talking about she's not, wanting to take her life or anything like that. And she is talking about how she is really in support of releasing the Epstein files. And so it's interesting to me. I do see that there is a split in MAGA right now in terms of those who are in support of the Epstein files being released, and those who are against it, who are more aligned with the president and his administration. My thing is, I really do believe that the reason why they're not wanting the Epstein files to be released is because there's a lot of damage in there that could be damaging to so many people. Yeah, you're right. The current administration is causing so much havoc on this country. And the thing is, with those Epstein files too, we have to realize it's not even just about holding these men accountable and about Jeffrey Epstein and what he's done. We also have to think about the victims too. There are a lot of women who were girls back then who were victims of being abused by rich and powerful men. And I don't care how much money you have or how famous you are, how much of a public persona you have. If you've done crime, you need to be held accountable and brought to justice. Point blank, period. With that being said, we had a Democrat named Adelita Grijalva who secured a win in a special election in Arizona. And so because Adelita has secured this win, the House is closer to forcing a vote on a bipartisan legislation that will require this current administration to release its files associated with the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you, John Stevens, for subscribing. Appreciate you. But these files need to be released. I do believe Republicans need to be scared next midterm election. Yeah, that's true. Because the way they have been acting, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are like, you know what, we just need to vote blue because this isn't what we wanted in terms of how this country is being run. What I will say is we do need to release the Epstein files. And I do believe that whatever is there, at first I thought that by releasing the Epstein files, that even if it had damaging information that we're talking about high profile or high ranking officials, it wouldn't matter because they have such a strong supportive base that they wouldn't care. But now I see that there is a split in terms of those who identify as MAGA. And then you have people, let me see. All right, so we have trolls in here. I thought y'all were making actual comments that actually mattered. But I believe that, yeah, so just know I have a moderator, so if you're making trolling comments, it's gonna be done away with. If we make it to midterms, look at the damage done in 8 months, what do you think another 13 months would look like? Thank you for that comment, John. So I think we can make it to midterms. It's all gonna come down to the judges in the lower courts holding the line. I think it's gonna come down to people who are against the president and the current administration truly not budging. So you see Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know what's going on with him lately. I see he's endorsed Eric Adams. He's going to be stepping down and not running for re-election. But I don't know what's going on with him. Chuck Schumer, I don't know what's going on with him. Like, the Democrats have to do a better job at staying united and holding the line. It's all going to come down to if people are truly staying focused on the goal and not budging. That's what's going to be the most important thing, John. So thank you for that comment. I believe that we can make it another 13 months to midterms. I truly believe we can. Criminals are criminals. Yeah, that's true. Criminals are criminals. But yeah, I believe that we truly can make it another 13 months. It just all comes down to people not budging. We see what happened with the Jimmy Kimmel situation, right? We saw what happened when his show was taken off air for a little bit because of comments he made. Yeah, John, I believe so. But it all comes down to the people in politics, the politicians holding the line against the president and his administration when they are just doing illegal activity. And also us, the people too, really holding the line when we don't support something. Like I was mentioning Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, when his show was taken off the air, a lot of people protested by canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions, by canceling their trips to Disney, and they really forced the hand of Disney, so the show had to come back. So I believe that it really comes down to money matters at the end of the day. If people truly say, you know what, we're not going to put our money here and support this, money talks. As cliche as that statement is, money really does talk. Crockett AOC 2028. Listen, it would be nice for Jasmine Crockett to run for president or AOC and to run for vice president or what have you. But if Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris could not become president of the United States, listen, this country is just too misogynistic and too racist to allow a black woman, let alone a woman, become president. I would have been fine with a woman becoming president, a black woman becoming president. My thing is, if you're fit to do the job, you're fit to do the job. I don't care what your gender is, your sexual orientation, your race, as long as you're fit to do the job. But this country just can't get past that. Okay. Yeah, Obama is black, but he's a man. And also he came off of the recession, the George Bush recession. President Obama getting elected was a whole different ballgame. And remember, this current presidential administration is a response to President Obama getting elected. Remember that, okay? Yeah, and President Obama has a white mother too, so I do think that played a factor too. I would love to have seen how he would have fared if he had 2 black parents. I'm ready for another black president. Yeah. President Obama did serve the country very well. He did. So there's that. But as I close, because I know my wife's probably waiting on me now, we gotta get ready to go to dinner. Like I said, we're on vacation. We're out the country right now, but I want to do this live right quick. As I close, what I will say is that if people truly stand for something, and it's more than just politicians, if the people of the United States truly stand for something, they will not support certain businesses that they know that are doing shady deals or supporting corrupt politicians. And we'll learn to band together as opposed to driving a wedge between one another. Talking about real life crime statistics. I don't know what that means, Trending. I don't know what that means.
I want to point you to that. It's black people, black men are causing all this.
I don't know what that means. All right, thank you, John. Appreciate you. I appreciate you being on. Thank you. I'll try the best I can to have a good vacation. Thank you. All right, Cody, it's all a distraction. I don't know what you mean by it's all a distraction. But anyways, so as I close, like I said, people of America have power. We have to learn to work together, understand that, yeah, we have our differences, but we cannot be against one another, acknowledge privilege whenever possible, and also work together in order to just make a better country. All right. I can expand on that in future lives. I can expand on that in my podcast. My podcast comes out on Thursdays. I'll see if I can record a podcast this week right here. Like I said, I'm on vacation, so we got to see what the wife says. All right. Got to see if I have free time. But I'm glad to be with you all tonight. What's brewing for me this week? I'll be putting out some reels. I'm watching the WNBA finals, which is pretty good. We're watching the semifinals right now, but the WNBA finals, can't wait to watch that. It's looking like it's going to be Phoenix versus, well, I hope it's the Aces. I hope the Aces beat the Fever, but we'll see what happens there. And that's pretty much it. So thank y'all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure to follow our other content. If you subscribe to this YouTube channel and you follow what we've been doing, you'll be able to see all the other activities that are connected to the AVIOT podcast, AVIOT Sunday Brew. So thank y'all once again, and we will see y'all next time. All right, peace.